Hi guys, it's Chris again finally with the finished drum set. I'm going to give you a quick run through of everything that I've done. Give you a nice little panoramic shot of what we've got here. I'm kind of using a floodlight because my house lights just aren't enough to illuminate everything. Everything's black and the wires are black and the boxes are black, so I really can't show you everything without the floodlight, so excuse the glare. As you can see, I'm up to 4 cymbals now. Got 2 greens, 1 blue ride, 1 yellow hi-hat, and the 3 tom snare and the bass drum with double bass pedal. Works great. For Rock Band 2, this is pretty much the setup you need. I've also finally hooked up the ion expander, and that means that the hi-hat pedal with the yellow-blue swap is finally enabled. So basically, stomp on the hi-hat pedal, and the hi-hat functions as normal. In Rock Band, you'll notice that an open hi-hat note is a switch to the blue symbol or the blue pad. No need for that if you want to play the song correctly. Just come off the pedal and you're good to go. Hitting the yellow hi-hat symbol and it registers as a blue note. Put your foot right back down and you've got your yellow note again. Other thing I wanted to point out is finally back to using the ion brain itself. And I can finally use the Alesis DM5 while actually gaming or by itself. Everything is hooked up. Everything has been neatly wrapped and loomed out. I used wire loom to wrap everything. So I'm going to give you a brief tour of what I finally did. If you guys watched my old videos, you guys would know that the ion expander has the inputs. These are the input. This is the input side of the ion expander. Actually, I'm sorry. That's the output side of the ion expander. The ion expander that would go to the drum brain, and then from the drum brain out to the system. But this is the input side of the ion expander, and underneath it, I don't know if you guys can see it, but underneath it there was the pass-through that was supposed to go to the DM5 drum brain. I decided not to use that because, I mean, I could use it and go to the DM5, but I would only be able to use the real drum brain with Rock Band, and I wouldn't be able to use it with Guitar Hero. I found that when you hook up 2 brains with the DM5 using splitters, there's all sorts of ghosting issues, and even using the separate outputs that prevented the ghosting issues on the ion expander, it still created ghosting issues with the J5. So we have a new box. New box is over here. This is basically the main input box. Looks like something you'd see in for like a PA system. Basically, there's 4 sets of inputs. Kind of give you a quick view. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice these switches. I'll explain these in a second. Without disconnecting everything, I'll give you an idea. As you can see, this one's colored, just like the colors on the ion expander. The colored rows are the inputs from my pads. So all the pads that you see here are all hooked into here, row 1. Row 2, right here, is a pass-through. Just like the pass-through that I showed you on the ion expander that I'm not using, that pass-through comes up and goes to the DM5 drum brain. So basically, I play my pads, and I can use the DM5 drum brain with no issues. And because this pass-through has the proper fuses on it to prevent ghosting and other issues, I can now use my ion brain or my J5 and play Rock Band or Guitar Hero. and also use the DM5 at the same time if I just want to hear what it actually sounds like. So that's rows 3 and 4. Row 3 goes up to the J5. So when I'm playing any of the Guitar Hero games, Guitar Hero World Tour, Guitar Hero Metallica, Guitar Hero Smash Hits, I basically have my J5 that I can use. And with the switches down, it activates this row. If I flip all 3 switches up, then it activates the front row. So up front, down back. So up front activates the front row. The front row, as you can see, the wiring goes to the ion expander, and then out from the ion expander up to the drum brain, which gets plugged in USB to the Xbox 360. So I can get the accuracy of the ion drum brain with all 8 separate outputs. Basically, when you play a regular Rock Band set, there is no real cymbals. In the freestyle section, it makes you green the cymbal. The other 2 are tom and a snare, and then your bass. When you use the ion drum brain, everything is separate. So if you play a hi-hat, it's a hi-hat. You play a ride, it's a ride. Crash is a crash. Tom's a tom. So on and so forth in your freestyle sections and your practicing, for example. So I can still use the ion drum brain, no problems. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that I could go over. I mean, granted, everything is nice and neat and loomed now. I found it a lot cleaner of a look. I bought these mounts here. These mounts are for a drum brain, like a Roland drum brain or whatever it may be. I use this one up on the rack to mount the J5 because of the navigation controls, so I can easily navigate through Guitar Hero. I don't have it on the floor anymore like you see in my old videos. The ion expander could be low because all I have to do is turn it on and forget about it. There's no navigation controls. That's all up here on the drum brain for the ion. So that's easily mounted, and underneath my toms I find it pretty simple for navigation, easy to get to. So I pretty much have 2 other drum mounts that I bought. I just kind of put them on the bottom legs there, and I mounted both the switch box and the ion expander. This is a secondary video. I'm not sure which one I'm going to put up yet, but I'll give you an idea of exactly everything that's going on here now. Everything is hooked up and ready to go for both games, so I'll just give you a brief overview. Obviously, these 4 pads act just like a regular set or a regular ion set for Rock Band, Rock Band 2, red's red, yellow, yellow, blue, blue, green, green, so on and so forth. If you have an ion kit, you know that it comes with 2 cymbals, and you can either make it your hi-hat or your crash or your ride. You know, you pick 2 out of the 3. You can buy an expansion kit to give you all 3, and then of course you have all 3. Well, I found that to have the proper experience, especially with certain fills and stuff, you know, if you wanted to play properly, you always have to, when you have a green crash, come back over to here. Well, we all know that most drummers use multiple crashes. I'm not going to add 4 and 5 crashes to an electronic drum set. It's just not worth it, especially for a game. Even when I'm just jamming alone without the game, I find 2 is enough. So I have 2 greens, and I got the 1 ride. It's only a single ride. Basically, some of the other cymbals out there are dual zone. This is only a single zone, so it acts as a ride. And in the game, of course, I mean, you can't use dual zone in the game. Well, you can, but it only acts as a single zone. But on your drum brain, you can use dual zones so that you can use the bell or the actual cymbal on the ride. And I decided that I don't need that right now. So that's the setup for now. If you guys have any questions, let me know.